everybody. We are back with a new vlog. As you all can tell, the COVID is winning. So we have not been able to go out and do all the services and try out new things for you. But Shannon has moved to Baltimore. There's her new view, guys. So life goes on despite the COVID, as my dad would say. We're going to share with you today a conversation we had with a good friend of ours about the do's and don'ts of dating.
Yeah. So Drew is our good friend. Drew lives in Dallas. We were having a conversation and just veered into what women do wrong, and we were telling him what men do wrong,
Right.
and we were like, we gotta vlog some of this and share it with you guys, because I'm a single woman, and as I move here to a new place and embark on a new social scene, I want to know, sort of going into it,
Right.
how to make this happen,
how to navigate the single scene. And by the way, ladies, Drew's single. I hope you enjoy it.
Why Shannon don't have a man. That's what we're gonna call this one. Why Shannon don't have a man.
Now, I wanna go ahead, for anybody who's watching this, I wanna go ahead and preface this, like, I too am single, so it's not like I got it all figured out. So I wanted to put it out there that I ain't got nobody either, but I do recognize certain equations. I do recognize certain patterns that lead you to certain areas.
You got your little disclaimer out there. I think this is more of a conversation of, it's not about being an expert in the area. It's about what you are saying that you see women doing wrong and what we see men doing wrong.
Yeah.
And that's probably why we're single, right? Because these things are off-putting to us. They are not attractive to us. And what we want to try to sort of get at the heart of is how do men see this? So if I want to flirt with someone, or I want to let him know I'm interested, what's the male language? Because I know what the female language is, but that may not be what they're receiving when I put it out.
It's not, because Shannon will think she's flirting with someone.
All right. Well, okay. Shannon's a jerk, and so, and her sister's a bigger jerk. So so both of you together is actually the problem. Making them feel uncomfortable or giggling to yourself to the inside joke. Then of course the guy's like, I ain't going over there. I'm not. So that's number one. That's number one, because look, even right now you guys have like evil smiles, like, like, we do that, don't we? Nah.
It's like a secret between us. We're not necessarily talking about.
But it's not a secret. You guys think it's a secret between you guys. You guys think it's a secret, but dudes are watching. They're paying attention. I mean, anytime y'all make eye contact with one another, you can't help but smile and laugh. And the guy's like, well, I'm the only person here. So what are they laughing, smiling about? What's the inside joke? You're looking around like, well, I mean, that didn't like a, So,
I mean, what are you? Are you a big ass joke? I mean, why are you so sensitive to women who are laughing?
It's not that. Well, I mean, like, if you're trying to, if this thing is a joke about, that's fine. But there's a difference between somebody laughing with you and at you.
Okay, so we now have to say how we all met. So we met Drew on a Tom Joyner cruise. And believe me, ladies, there was a lot to laugh at. In terms of the men on that boat and how they were communicating to us. So there was a lot to laugh at. So Drew happened to come upon us while we were in the midst of said laugh.
We were kind of people at that point, but that's not what we're always doing.
It is what they're always doing.
And for whatever reason, for the next 7 days, every time Drew would happen to be around us, that's what we were doing. Again, that's not what we're always doing.
Right, his timing is off.
Every time. Every time.
Okay. So we understand what you believe is the wrong way. What's the right way? So I see a guy like you in a lounge once we're able to actually leave the house again. And you know, he's by himself or he's with his guys, I'm with my girls. What should I do?
Right.
All right. In this scenario, in an environment, a lounge environment, a woman doesn't have to do much to let me know she's interested in me at all. She doesn't have to, she don't got to buy me a drink. She ain't got to, it doesn't take much to let the guy know you're interested in. Even if you just kind of stare for 2 seconds longer than usual, that's enough for a dude most of the time. Eye contact, it's kind of like you look at them, you kind of like in smiling, not cackling, because there's a difference between, smoking at somebody and just cackling at them.
I can see that because I try hard, since I'm married, I try hard not to make eye contact with people.
Exactly. That's what these people are looking for, those nonverbal clues to see if that person is checking them out. If that person looking for me too. If I'm in an environment, I'm not finding anybody attractive, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna look left, right, like, my phone is the most interesting, I've done it too, so I get it, because you make eye contact and all of a sudden you find yourself in a conversation you not want to be in. So, exactly. And there's many things that as a guy, when it's a group of women, you just like, I don't want to do this to myself. Because when you walk up there, your women can give off vibes, your friends can give off vibes that are necessarily not the vibe, because you might like this guy, and you might want to talk to this guy, but the homegirl's gonna insert things in. She might think she's being funny. She might crack a joke and stuff like that. Now, I will say this, as a people, we roast each other way too much.
Right.
And so we got to stop doing that, because when that person's trying to talk to you, they don't want to be roasted by your homegirl. They don't want to be like, girl, look at those shoes, or he wore those socks, or those whatever, because you're like, because it is
true. That doesn't happen to you. So what? I mean, you're not.
How do you know what happens to me?
Because I know what kind of shoes you wear.
Right.
Well, but what I think is cool, what I might think my outfit is cool as heck. Like, I could be wearing sandals and my toes are out, and some just like, look at them toes.
Oh yeah, we gonna roast you about that.
Yeah. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's like, you see, we find something. We find something. Like, there's no, we don't have to find something, but we do. It's like, did you have to find something to laugh at that person about? We had to find, and that kind of it messes. And now, don't get me wrong, you can laugh and joke, and it can be a fun environment and stuff like that. But somebody might be real sensitive about their toes. Or somebody might be real, you don't know somebody's, Achilles heel.
They have them out if they're sensitive about them. They would have them out.
Hey, they could be at a beach, it could be just a scenario, or but then you're gonna laugh when they're wearing sandals with socks. You just can't win in the scenario. So it's just like,
I remember the last trip we were on, that guy with those shoes, we talked about those
shoes.
My
God, he got his shoes straight from the 80s and brought them on vacation in 2020.
See, and that's the hard part for a guy, because at the end of the day, as like when you're a single dude, your sense of style is not that great. Like, it's not. Your sense of style, you like to think it's nice, but you're not. You need help. You do need help sometimes, because you thinking to yourself, you think you got it together. You like, I'm killing them, and they dying at you. They kill them the wrong way. So your sense of style is not always the best, And like, some people have it figured out, but at the same time, different strokes for folks. If I'm in Dallas, Texas, what works for me in Dallas, Texas, may not work for somebody in Chicago. Right. Like, he's like, hey, this is what I got. Right? Yeah.
Well, we can always tell. We can always tell when a guy ain't from Chicago. We know. We're like, oh, he ain't from Chicago.
See, and then New York, California, these things are, area-wise, your style changes and stuff, And so,
yeah. But at the end of the day, okay, so me and Shay we can save our jokes until we get home, although that's going to not be much fun for us. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I don't see that happening.
Exactly.
But we'll try to do better, Drew.
We'll try to be
I've seen y'all in action. God bless the man's ego who approaches you guys. And then another issue. She's married. You're single.
And?
Okay. Now, she needs to wear a shirt when y'all go out saying, I'm the married one.
No, because see, that's what fucks a lot of men up, because they come and talk and they don't really know who to choose.
But that's not fair.
They need to pick. I don't want to be with a man that's with me.
No, but here's the thing. Y'all are like the of Hunger Games. Like, may the odds ever be in your favor. You know, it's not cool. Because at the end of the day, here's the thing. As a guy, I literally may not have a preference. She could just have been 2 inches closer to me when I walked up. I would have been like, I'll talk to her. I talked to her. She was just 2 inches closer to me. It wasn't a scenario of like, and that's hard for a guy because you're like, oh, I gotta roll these dice. And you're like, sorry, my dad, I'm married. Oh, well.
But I don't want to be with a man that chose my sister and then he's like, oh, what about
I understand. I get it. I understand. But what I'm saying is just like, in the end of the day, as a guy, we're not thinking that deep into it. It was just like,
I'm not declaring my status on my shirt. Like, I mean,
you need to stay in the house. Stay in the house. Stay in the house. Married people stay in the house. Messing up our odds for success. You feel like
oh my
stay in the
God,
house.
you should see their faces when we're like, she's married. And they're like, well, what about you? I'm like, yep, I'm single. But you chose wrong. Oh, well.
And I just turn around. I turn to her like, are you just gonna be out here married and stuff, just doing this to me? Like, because I deserve this, right? So, I'm just saying, like, I
want a man that wants me, that chose me from across the room.
I get you. I don't disagree with you. I understand, but you're walking around with a person who's not available, and so, like I said, when we walk up, it could be just like she looked up first. Hi, how you doing? And it's like and you start the conversation, not meaning to start the conversation with her, but you end up starting the conversation with her just for this happenstance scenario.
Oh, I don't mind we don't mind that. If they start the conversation with her, that's fine. It's when they
get to the
they're
point,
like, so can I get your number? And she's like, oh no, I'm married. Then they're like, oh, what about you?
Yeah, that's when we do it.
But that's messed up. At that time, I have wasted valuable jokes, valuable personality at that point in time, valuable time in a place where time is limited and resources are limited, time and people limited to get to know a person that I didn't have to do that for.
Well, your first question when you walk up should be, hey, are you married?
Is one of you married?
Ah, man.
Married people should.
Yeah, so I'm not supposed to go on vacation or hang out at the bar.
Go with your husband.
No.
Yes.
So where I get really stuck is the fact that, he's intimidated to come over because I'm with my sister, because we are actually, me and Shay could be anywhere and we are going to have a good time. I don't care where we are, what's going on around us. We too will have a good time. And if he's afraid to approach me because I'm laughing or because he thinks, we're talking about him, like, to me, like, the man that I'm going to build a relationship with is going to have gotta have a very strong.
You know what, though?
So I'm okay with eliminating the people who don't have a strong ego, because we're never going to work anyway.
Right, because
that's never going to work for me.
And Drew, we never would have met you.
Right.
Had you not said, I don't know what they over here doing, and I don't care if they talking about me or who they're talking about. I'm gonna go.
But that's a hell of a risk for anybody. And say, for instance, there's a guy you're interested in. He's holding a conversation with both of you, laughing and joking and stuff like that. He doesn't realize in the whole conversation that she's married. No matter how smooth it comes off, it's a build up to us. Like, when's the right time? What do I say? I'm feeling them both out. Is this one here? Is that one there? Which one's kind of laughing more? My concern is she's laughing at my jokes. She's engaging with me in a conversation, and she's drinking my fucking drinks. Therefore,
I can't believe you are this.
And I do that every time I go out. I laugh at guys' jokes and drink the drinks. I mean, like, what the hell?
And that's why.
Blowing it, huh?
And that's why I'll be like, give me your husband's number because he owes me. He needs to Zelle me. He needs to Zelle me some money right now, because that's not cool, man. It's not cool. So I'm just saying, like, y'all like.
Every time I go out.
Do you ever interject in the conversation? Well, my husband.
No. Drew, and I will tell you, I have watched her in action, and Shay gets to flipping that hair, and she's straight.
She's sick.
And I'm like, and I wait for the moment that she has to tell them, and they look so hurt when they have to walk.
Because she's a sick person, and this is how she gets her pleasure in life. And so they tell them shit, sororities, everything, have a conversation. And the whole conversation doesn't want to mention conversation. And then my husband. But she could have done it early on. I was talking about my husband about that. Whatever it is. No. You just.
It's fun that night. Like, where am I supposed to have fun?
You can have fun talking to your sister. Torturing poor single men who got to walk out, who got told. And another thing, as a dude, you realize when you approach women that there are other people watching you approach these women. Like they're like people are watching how this is going to turn out for this cat. And then here's another, just like you just said, you're like, well, I don't want to talk to anybody that want to talk to my sister first. Well, other women in the bar or in the atmosphere, they don't want to talk to women that you quote unquote weren't the first choice.
Over there, yeah.
Exactly. You spent 30, 45 minutes over here, it didn't work out, and now here you are. Huh. Well, it's not like that. You actually I didn't see you when I walked in. It's like, I don't want to hear your sorry excuses. You know?
Oh my God. So this is what women are doing. You're right. These are things we should change. Ladies, we got to do better. We got to do better.
Exactly. And then,
no, but that's a good point, Shay, that if you see somebody across the room and he's talking to somebody else, that shouldn't be a reason for me now to not engage with him because while you was over there talking to her all that time.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, like I think we're all, and frankly, at this age now, like it's not gonna be this. I'm into like the romantic, organic. Like I don't want to do that. I want it to be truly a chance meeting, and y'all just hit it off, and it goes off into this relationship. But maybe that's too far-fetched nowadays. Maybe it is going to be the guy who's across the bar and I see him talking to somebody else and I see this and so for me to be closed off to that, I'm messing up an opportunity for myself.
Yeah,
exactly.
So,
and then you got to ask yourself the question, like, this person is still a person of work. They just happen to have, once again, it could be something as simple as this person was just closer to me. This person was just like, I started talking to these people because as I was walking, somebody just said something, and I just in a 2-second comment turned into a 30-minute conversation. That is the way it happens. Or that we turn out this person was colleagues, or this person worked in the same things you knew from school,
or the other thing Shannon needs to figure out is, how do you get a guy to go away?
What do you mean?
They
won't go away.
When you've told them, look, I am not interested.
Oh yeah.
You've got a couple who hang around
forever.
All right. Okay. Now, I say let down easy if you can. We all have to.
Well, that's after I have tried to let them down easy.
All right. First thing you want to do, if you're not interested in somebody, the first thing you want to do, because it seems to me the universal had to start talking to somebody like, can I buy you a drink? Or something like that. You start your series of no's off right there. No, thank you.
Oh, but I want the drink. I just don't want him to.
No! Well, you gonna get that rest. Hey, I'll buy you a drink. You get the rest of the conversation. That's what the hell you get. Like you have now subscribed to the Drew Show and buckle up because we're gonna be here.
I'm only gonna accept shots from now on. So you shoot it, and now it's all right.
You better be like, oh, that's gonna encourage me more. Keep them coming. Because you taking some shots, baby. Hey, tequila makes people do some strange things. Keep these shots coming. Like, that's what I'm talking about. I'd rather talk to a woman who's taking shots than a glass of wine any day. You don't want that guy to be around you for a conversation. You need to say no. you just do. I wish women could appreciate what it does take to walk into a group of women, or just as a person, if you like somebody, you naturally are a little bit less aggressive, or a little bit less like, okay, I want this person to like me back. So I'm not meaning to hamper my personality. If I see a woman has kind of looked at me more than once, I'm like, all right, maybe she's checking me out. And I'll look back and I'll be like, well, I'm looking at you. What's up? Type scenario. But or I might start off with a slight joke or something like that and see how she responds to it. If she gives me a blank look or whatever case may be, or her girls are like, these are things that everybody goes through some type of rejection. Everybody, if you like somebody, it is hard for you no matter what. And that's universal. And yes, you can have a man who's full of confidence. You can have a man, that you just said, who's a dude who you're saying to yourself like, well, I don't want no man who's timid. understandable.
Right.
But the thing about it is though, is like most of us African American people do not tend to be timid, even if we don't tend to be timid. But at the same time, when you like somebody, no matter what, you want them liking back. And at the same time, it's okay to have butterflies. Butterflies are fun. That is that romance. To me,
Yeah.
that is that fun time. That if I'm not intimidated, or if I don't have any butterflies and stuff, I feel like
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, and I'm
absolutely.
not liable. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it moving. I don't want to try. Like, oh, well, I ain't gotta take this crap. I want somebody, you want those quote unquote double texts. You want those
Exactly.
late night conversations. You want so it's okay if somebody's intimidated by you. That's romance. It's okay if somebody likes you and, is not sure how to approach, that's romance, to be honest with you, because the person who's really smooth, who's able to approach you, who's able to say everything, that guy has too much practice. The guy who's probably gonna treat you the best is probably the guy who's intimidated by you a little bit,
Okay, so
Yeah.
what I've learned is, we've got to not make people think we're talking about them. So I don't know how.
That's number one. I'll be honest with you. That's number one.
So we need to just be more aware of the room,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
right? So that if I do see somebody that's worth a conversation, I can be like, okay, Shay, let's chill on the laughing and
Yeah. You don't have to chill on laughing, but at the same time, like for instance,
where it's making them think we're talking about them. So I'll
The diabolical laughing.
yeah, exactly. And I don't think you have any other kind of laughing, to be honest with you. I think that's just yeah. Good luck practicing that. Y'all should spend 10 to 20 minutes a day laughing, not diabolically or cackling another song.
we'll work on that. That's gonna be my homework. That's gonna be hard. So we got our number one. Our number two would be, Shay, the next time we're out, when we're able to leave the house, if there's a guy in the room that I am interested in.
That's always defer to you.
What? I didn't even get to my point. If he comes over and approaches you first, are you ready to say, I'm married, but let me introduce you to my sister?
Yes.
Okay.
The thing about it is, but that's perfect because in that scenario, you've already set one, boundaries. Two, you've already let that guy know, all right, this person right here is available. And just that simple statement is like, okay, I don't, because
that's easy. That's easy.
Yeah.
Because most of the time, it's not somebody
Yeah, and most of
necessarily.
the time she's not interested.
What's our number three? Number three takeaway. I know our number three takeaway is to be open and flexible, because it could be a guy that's been talking to somebody else across the room, and now he approaches you, and just because it wasn't organically like you set it up in your mind to meet your forever, that doesn't necessarily mean this guy.
We all want the Cinderella story. We all want the Cinderella story. Yeah. We do. Even guys do, believe it or not. However, I believe everything does take some effort. Everything does take some work. Everything is about compromise. And, it's like, okay, because there could be 100 different reasons why this person was over there talking to other people, and so, and that's one of those things, like, we limit ourselves so much by just our own judging of different things, and scenarios.
Yeah, and then in Chicago, Shannon and I know so many guys. So many of them will be just talking to us, and then but they're talking to us. Right. I mean,
they're just saying hi.
Right, blowing their night,
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, holistically, as a whole, women have a laundry list of things for brothers for them to attain, and then a lot of times, from a brother's perspective, a woman, all she sees herself have to attain is just be a woman. It's just like,
no, that is bullshit.
I'm happy.
Men in general want, this woman somebody that they can take home to their mother, but then also somebody who is an Instagram model at the same time, and all of that sort of,
I don't. I'm not saying dudes don't want some unrealistic things, but I think dudes are more around reality about what's reality. You don't think so?
No,
man, I don't know, man. I got a lot of homeboys.
I think it's both ways. I think we all have to cut each other some slack. I mean, there's certain things that are deal breakers for me. I'm not sure.
And you don't want minor children.
Yeah.
And I don't want to date somebody with minor children, but that's, that can be discussed depending on how we work that out. But I think we've been asked to make
your kids older. To make your kids older. You don't tell people to make the kids older. How old are your kids? Do you make them any older? But
I had a guy tell me I found out we went out on the first date, and I had said I didn't want to date a guy with minor children. We go out on the first date. I find out he has a 6-year-old, and I kind of pushed back, and he was like, "Oh, that's all right. I don't barely even see her." I was like,
Yeah, that's gonna be.
that's a problem.
You know, that's funny because
Not the
that's
response I was looking for.
that's one of the scenarios. I wish I was his homeboy right then. I could be like, did you just hear yourself? Did you just hear those words come out of your mouth? Did you
He
just?
repeated it. He heard of somebody repeated it.
I don't even.
Followed up with a text that said the same thing. I'm like, dude, you just don't get it. This is a no.
Okay. I'm impressed with that one. But he's like, hey, he got a story to tell. He got, but
Call you again. We're ready to talk about once you're in the relationship. So this was about meeting someone.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're doing.
we're going to do a part 2 on in the relationship.
I think and if anybody can take anything from whatever I said in this whole scenario, it's just like the biggest thing is just like, one, try to put yourself in someone else's position for a second, because it is, as a woman, you do get the luxury of just sitting back and letting somebody come to you. And as a guy, it's not as easy as you think it is in our head, because rejection sucks no matter who you think that person is. And a lot of times women think like, we're fine with it. No, we're not. It hurts. It does affect the guy, whether he shows it or not. It affects them. And so it's like, you know, but women take that and it's like they, you know, it's your power, you know, and it's like, but at the same time, it's like, you know, just, and then at the same time, be open. Like you just said, it's like, you know, it's like, if you're interested in somebody, you can show them your interest. You don't lose anything by showing somebody you're interested in them. Like I said, it's like, you don't have to send a drink. You don't have to, there are nonverbal clues, or you can just be like, you know, or just small compliments or whatever case may be. It's fine. You know, those things that both people can do it. You know, it's like, you know, and those things are things that kind of can open up the scenario for some, you know, some good relationship later on. And once again, watch out for the smooth guy. I am the smooth guy. You should watch out for me. Walk out. But at the end of the day, even I want love. You know, at the end of the day, even I want a good woman and stuff, a good, nice person and stuff. And like I said, my list ain't near as long as y'all's list. Y'all like, you know, I just want somebody not to stab me. I want somebody to, you know,
don't stab you.
Exactly. Like my list is like very small. I'm at, like, it's like, don't stab me, you know, don't.
You are trying to come across. It's so like,
Right.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Please,
Hey.
you know, it's just little.
Right.
Hey. Like I said, I'm good at what I do. You biggest thing is like, just be open. And like, I think that the vibe you put out there, you know, if you actually want to be in a relationship, you actually want somebody to talk to you, you got to put some vibes out there, actually making people approach you, you know, and stuff. And like, and stop making like Game of Thrones.
Okay, well, this has been amazingly eye-opening, and we will really take all this under consideration. I guess we got some time to pray while we're quarantined, and yeah, we will contact you again for part 2.
All right, ladies, you guys have a great afternoon. Always good seeing you.
Drew.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you.
No problem.